Jay, I don't think you and I are the only people excited about this game here today.
Well, it's always a privilege to be in Allen Fieldhouse. It's the best venue in basketball, but the 1,000th game in this great arena, two outstanding teams and that are led by two super talented freshmen. It's going to be a great afternoon of basketball.
Two great players who played against one another twice in high school. We'll tell you about that as time allows, but let's start with Darren Peterson of Kansas, who appears to be past the ankle situation now.
Playing in only his 11th game of the season due to different ailments and injuries, but Darren Peterson is as smooth a scorer as you're going to find. He scores the basketball as easily as Kevin Durant did. They're very different players, but averages 21 points a game, shoots over 42% from three. If he gets hot, he can go for 30, maybe more.
Missed 9 games with cramping in his legs. Missed a game last week with a sprained ankle. Meanwhile, you said he could go for 30. A.J. DiBonsa went for 43 last week against Utah.
Well, you talk about an NBA offensive game. He can really get to his spots. Great footwork. He's 6'9". He can rise up above, and he really operates in the mid-range. And it's not going to be just one guy that's charged with slowing him down. It's got to be all 5 Kansas defenders in great help position.
Boy, if the hair on your neck's not standing up a little right now, I don't know what to tell you. The 396th consecutive sellout here at Allen Fieldhouse. Even by Kansas standards. Trust us when we tell you, it is loud here right now. Underway, and the Jayhawks get the first possession of the game. Melvin Council Jr., who has had a really good year, the transfer from St. Bonaventure. And it is turned over by Kansas to give BYU the ball.
Just a difficult angle from which to feed the post, but A.J. DiBonsa is guarding Darren Peterson to start the game. It's not reciprocated on the other end.
Bernard Davis Jr., who made 5 threes in their loss to Arizona on a Monday. Here's DiBonsa, the kick in the corner. Robert Wright Jr. misses the shot, and down with the rebound, Bryson Tiller for the Jayhawks.
Bryson Tiller is just getting better and better each game. A perimeter shooter to start the season, but he's starting to play more inside.
Lob inside, tipped away by Richie Saunders, out of bounds, still Kansas ball.
Well, it was a good idea, but that ball's got to be thrown much higher to Flory Bidunga. And Dan, you're going to see Kansas. They want to move the ball from side to side and really get paint touches, get downhill and force help and then play out of it.
Peterson was a full participant in practice yesterday. Again, missed Kansas's game last Saturday because of a sprained ankle. A block by Keba Keita. But that week off between games came at a good time for Darren Peterson and his coach, Bill Self, the Hall of Famer, inducted into the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame in 2017. And Bill Self hasn't been here for all of the 1,000 games, obviously. But how about his record in this building, Jay? 340 wins to only 22 losses.
Well, Allen Fieldhouse is not that hard to play in. It's just they make you play Kansas when you come here.
Saunders open for 3, and Richie Saunders can score it with the best of them. 39% from 3 on the season, averaging almost 19 points per game.
Anytime Richie Saunders sets a screen, he is going to go out to that three-point line as fast from the catch to the release as any guard or wing in the country.
DiBonsa on Peterson at the moment, but there is sure to be a lot of switching on both sides today. This is Trey White, who has also had a very good year for Kansas. Down to Tiller. He's got a size advantage inside. Switches to the left, but missed it. But somehow it bounces in.
Keba Keita did not get a body on Flory Bidunga.
White down with the rebound and looking to push.
Kansas needs to play with pace against BYU.
White for 3.
Well, you go under those screens, Dan, and Trey White, to your point, is having a great year. He's basically second on this Kansas team in every major category. He has been outstanding all season long.
Tipped away by Peterson. And fouled, and will head to the free throw line.
Peterson decided it was a great steal, but decided he was going to go up just with one hand with that right hand. Now take a look at Richie Saunders here. When he's going to set a screen, he's just going to slip right out of it. They get a switch, and Tiller, you have to be with him at the three-point line. Don't worry about the drive. That's just a 2. Saunders is going to give you a 3.
So here's Peterson, and again, and I know college basketball fans have a general feel for what's been going on. This is the 21st game for the Jayhawks this year. This is the 11th game in which Peterson has played. Missed 9 with cramping in his legs. Sometimes would start a game, play very well, but was unable to finish a game. Bill Self has said he doesn't feel his team has been complete yet. He said it on game day today. He doesn't feel they have reached their ceiling yet because they're still kind of getting used to having Peterson in there as the drive will go for Davis. But for them to reach their ceiling, obviously they need a healthy Darren Peterson this year.
Well, Darren Peterson puts a guy into your lineup that can get 30 in any given game, and he gets a lot of defensive attention, which opens up things for his teammates.
Peterson averaging 21.6. How about the switch to the left?
You talk about a 3-level scorer.
And count the basket for Saunders at the other end.
You know, Dan, Darren Peterson is effortless. Now he puts effort into it, but he makes it look effortless, and he's so smooth. But his ability, this is the difference in him from earlier in the season where he was relying primarily on jump shots. Now he's getting downhill and putting pressure on the rim, and that's going to open up more perimeter opportunities.
White to the elbow and threw it out of bounds. Might have been looking for Tiller, but Tiller was cutting to the basket. Meanwhile, and we're only 3:21 into the game, but I'm sure Kevin Young would love to see A.J. Dibonsa take a shot. Dibonsa has not been a factor at the offensive end yet, but he is an enormous factor overall. He is the second leading scorer in the country at 23.6 points per game.
And Dibonsa is being guarded by Flory Badunga, the 5-man for Kansas. And that puts some size on him and keeps Flory Badunga out of foul trouble near the bucket against Kebakeda.
A miss for Saunders on a 3. Here's Peterson. Got it! And what a start for Darren Peterson and the Jayhawks.
You think his eyes got bigger in this one, knowing what was at stake?
He's already got 7 in this game. Both of these teams 5-2 in the ultra competitive Big 12 conference. And it's Kansas off to a hot start tonight, Jay, with Darren Peterson filling it up early.
Well, Darren Peterson averages 21 points per game. He had 32 against TCU, 26 against Baylor. And he's got the look of a guy who's going to put up numbers in this one.
That Dibonsa and Peterson had played against one another twice before. Both were last year. Dibonsa at Utah Prep, Peterson at Prolific Prep. Peterson's team won both games, and in the second game, you just saw the numbers. Peterson scored 61 points in the second game and hit the game-winning shot. 1-2 in the SC Next Top 100 coming into this year. 1-2 in whatever order you want to put them in mock NBA drafts. Jeremy Wu at ESPN has Peterson 1 and Dibonsa 2. You'll find it going both ways because they are both so sensationally talented, and it's awfully fun, Jay, to be sitting courtside in an arena like this on a day like this, watching these two teams and those two players.
It's a privilege. But for Darren Peterson and A.J. Dibonsa, it's the talent is one thing. It's the maturity along with the talent that's incredible at that age. I mean, Dibonsa just turned 19 2 days ago.
Peterson's got 7 points early. Dibonsa has yet to take a shot. Council looking inside for Badunga. 7 on the shot clock. Good footwork, but he can't hit the shot. Offensive rebound. Badunga to Tiller and a foul.
Flory Badunga got away with a push on Keba Keita, but wound up coming up with the offensive rebound. And thus far in the game, it's been Kansas that's been grabbing all the clean rebounds. And BYU has not been able to get their hands on any.
So Tiller, who, as Jay mentioned, has been playing much more aggressively recently, heads to the line. Had a very good game last Saturday at Kansas State. 16 points, 7 rebounds. Hey, this isn't the only big-time game here today. There have been some good ones already, and there are more coming. How about BBN against Coach Cal? It'll be Kentucky and Arkansas at 6:30 Eastern, Auburn and Tennessee at 8:30 Eastern, and then St. Mary's and Gonzaga. Always a great rivalry between those two. Graham Ike is expected to be back in the lineup for the Zags. That Kentucky-Arkansas game is loaded with intrigue. Kentucky's coming off a rough loss, a 25-point loss at Vandy. And Arkansas, speaking of freshmen, boy, do they have a couple of good ones in Darius Acuff Jr. and Malik Thomas. They're combining for about 35 a game. Peterson knocks another one away. Second time he's done that.
Boy, talk about a two-way player. He has been active in every aspect of this game, and he is on fire.
A sensational start for Darren Peterson. He's already got 9, and he hasn't missed a shot. Can BYU get some looks for DiBanza? Nice feed inside. Saunders to Keba Keita for an and one.
Boy, really nice job by Keita of rolling to the basket, and he is a grown man. But Darren Peterson on that last play with his second steal of the game, getting that right hand in the passing lane, knocking it away. But this is just a big-time shot. Waved away the ball screen by Badunga and just took DiBanza on one-on-one and got that pull-up jump shot over the 6'9" and lengthy defender, DiBanza.
Keita at the line, top 5 in the conference in blocks. A very good rebounder as well, and as you said, just an energetic physical force at both ends of the court.
He puts so much pressure on the rim when he rolls hard to the basket. It opens up things for the ball handler when he sets a ball screen.
You know, BYU's only lost 3 games all season. And if you look at those losses, they lost to UConn in Boston by 2. They lost at Texas Tech, and then they lost Monday night at home to Arizona, the #1 team in the nation, in a game that they made very close at the end. The Cougars are having a tremendous year. They're 17-3. Council floats it up and in for the Jayhawks.
Melvin Council has had a fantastic year taking over the point guard position. Averages over 5 assists per game.
Rob Wright, who really has a scorer's mentality at the point, lays in the reverse.
And what he really has is a penetrator's mentality. You have to keep him out of the lane. 40% of his shots come in the paint. Even though he is small, he can penetrate.
Both coaches have dipped into their bench. There's a miss from three-point range by Elmarco Jackson, who's coming off a career-high 19 last Saturday against Kansas State. Wright gets a piece of the paint again. And yet again, but misses about a 6-footer, and Tiller down with another rebound.
You see Wright is getting more aggressive with DiBanza out of the game.
White has it rejected at the rim. And it'll be a tie-up between Wright and Tiller. And the possession arrow is going to give it to BYU.
This terrific rear pursuit to block that shot by Trey White. But Kansas is getting pressure on the paint and pressure on the rim. And Kansas is actually a very good shot blocking team. They haven't gotten one yet, but they average over 6 blocks a game. That's second in the country.
Only Georgia with more. So as you saw, DiBanza's gone to the bench, and Peterson just went to the Kansas bench. Saunders will bring it back out.
They run that little horn set and try to get a quick post for Richie Saunders, but well defended by Kansas. They were prepared for it.
Saunders, a senior, the most improved player in the conference a year ago as a junior. Oh, Trey White. Yes, it is. It's an offensive foul on BYU. White thought for a moment he had been called for a foul. but it's a call on the Cougars.
You know, Robert Wright is such a good penetrator, but he can also bully you a little bit. He tries to get that shoulder into your chest, just pushed off with that left arm against Elmarco Jackson. Elmarco Jackson had one of the plays of the year, in my judgment, against Iowa State when he dove for that loose ball near midcourt. Kansas got a 3 out of it. Big time play.
Tiller with a 3, and the lead grows for Kansas.
Bryson Tiller is emerging before our eyes.
Quick release on the corner 3 won't go for Alexei Kostic, the freshman from Austria, but Saunders in the right place to put home another 2 points for the Cougars.
I think Trey White thought he might carry that ball out of bounds, just dropped it to come back for it, but Saunders was right there after getting boxed out by Jamari McDowell.
Saunders does a little bit of everything. He rebounds well, he dishes, but Kansas really clicking at the offensive end. That's Council.
Anytime Kansas gets a ball reversal, they are so good at attacking a closeout and any over pursuit to get the ball and touch the paint.
A few weeks ago, the Jayhawks were really struggling. They lost 2 out of 3, and in between, the only win was kind of a miraculous overtime win over TCU. But they are playing much better right now, Jay. They have won 4 in a row in impressive fashion coming into this one.
Yeah, Kansas is getting better and better, and I think Darren Peterson getting back into the lineup is a big part of that. With Peterson out, I think the Kansas team learned to play without him. And Bill Self was saying this morning on game day, now Darren Peterson is learning to play with the team. But they're going to get better and better with him in the lineup. How could you not?
Peterson and Dibonsa both back into the game. Kostic, air ball.
Boy, great recovery by Peterson.
Council, a blur in transition, but he left the layup short. Tried a little Gervin finger roll there, but could not get it over the front of the rim. Dibonsa, you can see he wants to get going. He draws a foul. He still has not attempted a shot here in this game, better than 8 minutes into this one. An 8-point lead for Kansas. Again, this is game number 1,000 here at Allen Fieldhouse. Jay and Bill Self reflect on that when we come back.
Allen Fieldhouse, when it's empty and quiet, I mean, this building has a soul. But when you walk in here for game number 1,000, what do you anticipate the feeling to be like?
It's going to feel different. It'll be a top 1% of all those games. We're spoiled rotten here. The thing about it is, they could be crap weather, sleeting, snowing, or whatever. You walk out there's 16,000 people waiting on you.
The sound in here has to be deafening. For you, what does it sound like?
Because, seriously, I think I've lost hearing coaching in this place. But it's great, and it's something that we take for granted when we get it.
Jay, I think you and I agree on this. This is the best place to watch a college basketball game. And even beyond that, this might be the best venue to watch a sporting event anywhere in North America. It is just fantastic.
Well, I've said for a lot of years now, it's the St. Andrews of college basketball. Just an amazing place. And when you think about the players that have played here, the coaches that have coached here, I mean, Kansas has had 8 head coaches in their history. 5 of them are in the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame. It's absurd.
Right. This building named after Fog Allen. This is Allen Fieldhouse. It opened in March of 1955. Fog Allen was still coaching. He was right near the end of his time, but was still coaching when they opened this building. It holds 16,300, and this is the 396th consecutive sellout, and they are loving every single second of action they have seen so far.
Kansas is really driving it hard to get a piece of the paint. And Trey White with a left-handed drive to draw that contact and then finish it off the glass to rattle in. But just that nice little shot fake opened up that seam in the slot to get him into the lane. That collapses the defense. You can kick it out. Now all of a sudden you can attack a closeout. And Kansas has BYU on its heels right now.
White completes the three-point play.
Dan, you mentioned Fog Allen coaching in this building in his last year here. As far as I could research, there have only been 2 coaches that have ever coached in a building named after them. Fog Allen here at Allen Fieldhouse and Dean Smith at the Smith Center, North Carolina. And Dean Smith played here under Fog Allen.
You and I have talked about this many times on and off air. When you start tracing back through college basketball to its earliest times, you always wind up right here.
Every road in this game leads back to Lawrence, Kansas. It's amazing.
Bidunga a little bit strong, but a foul is called. So he'll go to the line as we listen in to the last Kansas huddle with Bill Self.
See if you can get it flat to flat as fast as you can, and watch how the sea just parts. You're going to be able to get in the paint anytime you want to. Flat to flat, and then drive that sucker. You can't hold it and then do it. Okay? Has everybody got that? Get in there and drive the pass. All right?
Still got the drive, the Hall of Famer, and you can't tell from that huddle if they're up 11, down 11. I mean, he is always coaching and pushing, and what he has been a big part. Obviously, this program was a blue blood before Bill Self got here, but he has maintained that incredible level of this program in his 23 years here in Lawrence.
Well, his record in this building is absolutely remarkable. All the Big 12 championships, the 2 national championships, the Final Four. You know, one of the great coaches of all time. But really what he was saying in that huddle is when you catch the ball, you've got to shoot it, drive it, or pass it. If you hold it, everything bogs down, and you're not going to be able to get what you want, and you're helping the BYU defense.
DiBonsa, can he get himself going? A trip, a foul is called on Elmarko Jackson.
I'm not sure about that. I thought that DiBonsa just lost his footing more so than got tripped, but Bryson Tiller was right there as a help defender. Yeah, that's a bad call. There was no trip there.
And it's a significant call because it's the second on Jackson, who has to come out of the game. He doesn't like it. Bill Self doesn't like it. Jamari McDowell takes his place. DiBonsa with a travel, still unable to get going.
DiBonsa has had different matchups throughout the course of this game. First it was Flory Bidunga. Now it's Elmarko Jackson. And he's not been able to get any rhythm on the offensive end because BYU's played largely in the half court.
And Kevin Young has seen enough to know that he wants another timeout. This is a really, really good offensive team, but the Cougars are up against it early. The Dean E. Smith Center, and that is where we will be next weekend. It'll be the first of 2 regular season meetings between Duke and North Carolina. We will be at the Dean Dome, 6:30 Eastern time. Both teams winning today. And as you say, and we heard it in that clip, it always delivers. Another special game that we'll get a chance to call next week.
And we go from Darren Peterson and A.J. DiBonsa to Cameron Boozer and Caleb Wilson.
Right.
Are you kidding me?
And they could be the top 4 picks in the draft.
I think they will be.
Yeah. And they're all playing at an All-America level, especially right now, Darren Peterson.
That was just a diamond floppy set with Darren Peterson with his head under the basket, choosing which side and which screen to come off of.
Right, off the glass. No, Peterson down with a rebound. Peterson 4 for 4, a dozen points. Bidunga, no. There was a foul, no basket. A foul before the follow dunk. But again, Kansas crashing the glass, making good passes, getting really good looks.
But you know, Dan, it's tempting for us to talk about the Kansas offense in this game, but it's all set up because their defense has been so good, and they're not being made to take it out of the net after BYU possessions, but just a simple little drag screen in transition in the middle of the floor, and Bidunga can just roll to the rim and put pressure on that rim.
The foul on Mihailo Boskovic, a senior from Serbia, number 5 in the Blues, so he will sit. Kennard Davis Jr. also has 2 for BYU. Richie Saunders returns.
Bidunga and Peterson are a great pick and roll combination. Not only because of Peterson's offensive ability, but Bidunga can set a screen and get in and out of it with great speed.
15-point lead, Jayhawks past the midway point of the first half. 9 of 10 starters have scored. The only guy who hasn't, A.J. DiBonsa. Saunders misses a 3. And Peterson and Davis still fighting for the ball. Possession arrow gives it to Kansas.
Boy, how impressive has Peterson been? Now, there's no rule that says you have to let go of the ball. And I don't blame Darren Peterson or Kennard Davis for not letting go. The referees will get it from you. But I like the fight, saying, hey, man, there's nothing in the rule book says I have to let go first. I ain't letting go.
BYU came into this building 2 years ago and beat the Jayhawks. Now, obviously, A.J. DeBonsa wasn't here. Kevin Young wasn't coaching. This is his second year. Last year, BYU beat Kansas by 34 in Provo. Obviously, a lot of turnover on both teams since then. But this has been the Jayhawks at their best in the first 11 minutes of this game.
Little zone right now for BYU. Try to change the rhythm of the game, but Kansas has to continue to attack.
Peterson a miss. Ball's loose. And a kick ball is the call to give it to BYU. This BYU team, Jay, as you know, they are excellent offensively. They are averaging almost 87 points per game on the season. The big three of DeBonsa, Wright, and Saunders average 60 a game. Just those three guys. Saunders has 7, Wright has 2, and improbably DeBonsa still has yet to score. There's a foul on McDowell.
McDowell has been guarding DeBonsa and face guarding him, but they went with a switch thinking it was a ball screen situation that they could switch. Just an extra little shove by McDowell.
What do you think Bill Self's message to his players has been? You're one-on-one, DeBonsa's got the ball, you're looking him in the eye. How do you try to defend him?
You know, it's not really as much about who's guarding DeBonsa, it's about their help side. And if their help is in good position and they only have a one-way recovery, they can have some success. But you got to worry about Robert Wright and also Richie Saunders. It's not just DeBonsa.
Flory Badunga, who's 4th in the nation in blocks, comes up with one, and then Jamari McDowell made a spectacular play to keep the ball in bounds.
Flory Badunga is one of the most energetic big guys in the country. He averages 9 rebounds a game, just under 3 blocks. Look at that discipline to wait until Robert Wright goes up first, and then Badunga leaves the floor second. And what a great save by Jamari McDowell to get it to Badunga. But Badunga, over his last 3 games, he's averaging 18 points, 10 rebounds, and 4 blocks. And during that period, he's 25 of 32 from the field.
He gets a very friendly bounce at the line, so he's now 2 for 5 from the line today, 68% on the season.
Were you about to say nice touch for a big guy? Please tell me you weren't thinking that.
As you always know, I feel you're an excellent analyst for a big guy. 1 of 2. And Kansas more than doubling BYU right now. DeBonsa a touch. Badunga defending. Tiller had come over to double. They move the ball. Spins into a double. Extra pass to Davis. Too strong. Cada had it. Lost it out of bounds. Still belongs to the Cougars.
Boy, Kansas is really doing a great job of recovering after helping. Bryson Tiller did a great job on that possession of helping on DeBonsa and then recovering back out. As much of a story as Darren Peterson has been, it's been the Kansas defense that has really dominated this first half.
The Cougars have missed their last 8 attempts from the field.
Boy, basketball is about rhythm, you know, establishing yours and disrupting theirs. And Kansas has disrupted the BYU rhythm from the jump.
And Darren Peterson has been the most disruptive guy on defense. That's his 3rd steal.
What a pass.
White from the corner for 3. Kansas dominating right now. And DeBonsa finally with his first points of the game as he knocks down a 3.
Just set a screen and slipped out to it, and most of his threes. There's another foul there by DeBonsa, or excuse me, by Kennard Davis. But Boy, that was the first open look he's really had by slipping out of that ball screen for a catch and shoot opportunity.
But it has still been almost all Kansas here in this one, with Darren Peterson leading the way. He's got a dozen, and the Jayhawks are up 16.
Well, Darren Peterson has shown his savant-like ability on the offensive end in this first half. He scores with such ease and so smoothly. 12 points on 4 of 5 from the field. But as impressive as his offense has been, maybe his defense has been equally as impressive. He's got 3 steals. And Dan, BYU's got 5 turnovers in this game. Kansas got 13 points off those turnovers. BYU has not scored a single point off the Kansas turnovers. That is awfully efficient in scoring off your opponent's miscues. The defense for Kansas has been every bit the story that Darren Peterson has been in this first half.
They are shooting 61% as a team. BYU just 33%. The Cougars just 2 for 11 from 3. The Jayhawks 5 for 7. Peterson at the line.
He's human. You know, so many people have been trying to get a comparison for Darren Peterson. Who is he like? You know, he scores it like Kobe. I haven't seen a scorer that scores as easily as Darren Peterson in college since Kevin Durant. I mean, they're very different players, but just the ease with which they score, very similar in that regard.
And again, hampered by the leg issues so often in the first couple of months of the season. But Dunga, count the basket, a goaltending call. So count that basket. But Peterson clearly healthier now than he was early in the season. The sprained ankle notwithstanding that he suffered in the Colorado game 11 days ago, as you get a look at the goaltending call. But, you know, you could see it in spurts from Peterson, but he was unable to finish games. But now he appears to be playing both physically and mentally, Jay, very freely right now because he is healthier.
Yeah, he doesn't look hampered at all. And right now, going up against this zone, you got to penetrate this.
McDowell does. Around and out. And down with the rebound, Abdullah Ahmed, a 6'10 sophomore from Cairo. Another player who has played in the G League, spent 2 years with Westchester, joined the program in the fall, got eligible just before Christmas. He gives them some energy and a rebounder off the bench.
Boy, Kansas is really gang rebounding on the defensive end. All 5 white shirts going to the defensive glass.
Right face guarding Peterson. Peterson gets a little space and knocks it down. Trey White the assist.
Boy, if you're wearing a Kansas uniform right now and you're not looking for Darren Peterson on every possession, you are making a mistake.
At the other end, Wright will answer with a 3 of his own.
Boy, Trey White went under on that little handoff from Ahmed to Robert Wright. You cannot go under on him. He's too good of a scorer, and you don't want to let him get going.
43% from 3, 17.5 points per game. The sophomore who played at Baylor a season ago. Ahmed comes over to help out on Peterson, who somehow finds Trey White on the perimeter. 4 on the shot clock. Tiller knows it. Ball did not hit the rim. And it's a live ball in the hands of the Cougars. Here comes Wright.
A lot of contact on that shot.
And Wright earns a trip to the line.
Well, Darren Peterson gets a lot of buckets off his movement. This one he was able to create for himself. Just going right behind the screen by Tiller. Robert Wright gets in the way. And he's able to knock that shot down. But he's got a great release and just a beautiful stroke. And effortless is the feeling you get with Darren Peterson. And look, he can get his own. But when he's playing, Bill Self calls it 4 game. You know, they'll have 4 out, and they really get a lot of ball reversals, drives, and then they play off forcing help. And that makes him even more effective as a scorer because you can lose him and you get in a chase mode defensively.
And you never like to lose a player to injury, but as you said, Bill Self said on game day this morning, he now has to adjust. He now has to fit in with the other players. They've all been forced to play a bigger role in his absence. And maybe at the end of the season, what Council has done, what White has done, what Tiller has done, when Peterson has been out, that could make this a better team come March.
No question. I mean, they have a chance to contend for a Big 12 championship with this lineup.
Wright spins and hits. Robert Wright, the third, as we mentioned, is wired to score. He was good at Baylor as a freshman last year. He is a force this year as a sophomore in Provo.
Well, he's so good at getting into the lane, and his footwork is excellent, and he stays low. Great strength in addition to quickness.
Council
good pass.
Council to Tiller. Count it. And Kansas is 7 for 9 from three-point range.
And it's all being set up by the penetration. Get into the lane, collapse the defense, and play out of it.
A miss by Hadim Boop on the jump hook as he has come in off the bench. And Badunga runs it down in the corner.
Boy, BYU has been a second half team all season long. They're hoping the second half starts soon.
Tiller feeling it, hitting it. He is 3 for 3 from beyond the arc, and Kevin Young needs another timeout. This is a different looking team than Jayhawk fans have seen at times over the course of this season. They are playing as well as they have all year right in this one here today.
Kansas has been playing with great pace, and they have just punched BYU in the mouth on both ends of the floor and knocking down open threes left and right. The Jayhawks 8 of 10 from three-point range in this first half. Bryson Tiller's made all 3 of his threes. Trey Wright is 2 of 2, and Darren Peterson, he's the schlep that's missed one. He's 3 of 4. Unbelievable offensive performance, all set up by the great defense played by Kansas.
The most threes they have made in any half of any game this year, and there's still 3:12 to go. Tipped away, Saunders. Boy, he gets his hand in the passing lane so often. He has it knocked away, but BYU retains possession. What can BYU do right now? It must feel like they've been hit by a tidal wave from these Jayhawks.
Yeah, a tidal wave truck. But they've got to calm down a little bit, and they need first one solid possession where they move the defense and can attack it. They played this whole game in the half court.
DeBonsa gets to the rim first time tonight. He's got 5 points now in this game.
Just got a little fade screen to catch the ball on the right wing and then just ripped through and took it baseline. They raised up the Kansas defense so there was no help.
Peterson jams it. Oh, what a finish by Darren Peterson. I'm no Dr. J, but I think he's feeling pretty good right now.
Yeah, good diagnosis there, Dr. Shulman.
Tipped by Tiller. Wide open corner 3 for Wright, who's into double figures now with 10.
Boy, Darren Peterson is opened up his entire offensive bag on BYU in this first half. What a spectacular performance. And he's not alone. Trey White's been fantastic too.
6 for 7, 18 points. And another 3. Jamari McDowell, 9 for 11, the Jayhawks right now.
This is like Pleasantville.
DeBonsa, tough shot, and he hits it. He's now got 7.
He used that right shoulder to create some space and looked like he got fouled and certainly some contact and still was able to finish through it.
He can draw fouls with the best of them. Wanted a call there, didn't get it.
Well, you talk about explosive. Darren Peterson gets that screen up top, gets a little head of steam, and just goes right over the top of two BYU defenders, including Keba Keita, for a spectacular finish.
And you're right, he got hit across the face by Mihailo Boskovic. That easily could have been a three-point opportunity.
I mean, that some buckets are worth more than others, and that one was worth more than 2 points.
Trey White at the line. Peterson will sit with a minute and a half left in the half. Badunga returns. Listen to the ovation for Peterson.
Boy, Kansas has hung half 100 on BYU in this first half.
Shooting 65% from the floor. And again, 9 for 11 from three-point range.
So Trey White now taking A.J. Dibonsa on the ball screen. They'll switch it.
Here's the double. Everything out on the perimeter right now for the Cougars. Now Saunders on the drive. Wright has been the go-to guy offensively lately. Left it short. Block at the rim by Badunga, but it's a goaltending call. The second of the half. And Badunga thought he got that one clean.
Well, he might have come up through the basket or got a couple of his fingers inside the rim. I couldn't really tell. Yeah, there it is.
There it is. Yeah, good call. And good call by Doug Sermons, the lead official today, who made the goaltending call. Final minute of the first half. Kansas by 18.
Remember, BYU was down big against Arizona in Provo. Made an amazing comeback in the second half.
The lob from Council to Badunga.
Well, you run that in the middle of the floor, and Keita stays on the ball for a second too long. It's a lob dunk. Beautifully run by Kansas.
Off in time, left it short. Kansas ball. They've got time. Council heaves it. Almost hit it. As a spectacular 20 minutes comes to an end for the Jayhawks. They just put 53 on BYU to lead by 20 at the break. Seth Greenberg, Jay Williams, Reese Davis with the Jeep halftime report. They will recap the first half of this game and all of the action that has been going on around the country. But right now, maybe the headline story of anything going on around the country is what the Jayhawks have done here. Can they play any better at both ends of the floor than they have in the first 20 minutes? Darren Peterson, outstanding. Kansas by 20. Game number 1,000 here at Allen Fieldhouse, affectionately known as the Fog. They dedicated this building back in 1955. Bill Self said earlier today this game would be among the top 1% in his mind of all the games that have ever played here in terms of the emotion and the hype. And boy, the Jayhawks have played like it, haven't they? A.J. Dibonsa has struggled to get looks, didn't score for the longest time, had by his standards a very quiet first half. Darren Peterson was anything but quiet. He was relentless and efficient, and the star of the game, really, Jay, at both ends of the floor.
Well, his defense was fantastic. He had 3 steals that got Kansas out in transition, 13 points off turnovers for the Jayhawks. And their defense wasn't just on the ball. Their help side defense was excellent, and their first shot defense overall was great. They didn't give up a whole lot of second shots, but in transition, Darren Peterson, he's surveying the floor, just pulls up for 3. 9 of 12 from 3 in the first half for Kansas. They shot it better from 3 than they did from 2, but Peterson getting rid of the ball screen so he could go one-on-one against A.J. Dibonsa. But penetration into the lane opened up the three-point line. Bryson Tiller knocked down 3 threes. Getting it out to Jamari McDowell off the penetration by Melvin Council Jr. and Trey White off the penetration by Darren Peterson. The ball was moving. They were putting BYU into chase situations defensively and really took advantage of it. But Dan, we talked about BYU being a second-half team. In second halves this year, BYU is the most efficient offense, not only in the Big 12, but in the country. And they're going to need a really efficient offense here in Allen Fieldhouse to make a comeback against Kansas.
The Cougars will get the first possession of the second half. Let's see if DiBonsa can get off to a quicker start than he did at the beginning of the game. Again, just 3 for 6, 7 points. A feed inside, and Keita is fouled.
They got a switch. Darren Peterson had to switch off on Keba Keita, and Keita just locked him down and rolled him right down the lane. You got Badunga, who is guarding A.J. DiBonsa again to start this second half. That puts a lot of length on him, and then Badunga doesn't have to wrestle Keba Keita down low.
Number 2 on Peterson, who played more than 17 minutes in the first half. Nowhere to go for DiBonsa. Good help there by Badunga. Saunders up and in with the left.
Well, Richie Saunders has a lot of game. I thought he slid that pivot foot but got away with it, but went to that left hand by pivoting around the defense. He is not just a shooter, and he's also an excellent wing rebounder.
Into double figures now with 11. He's given up a lot of size, though, here to Tiller. Keita comes over and is called for the foul.
That's one of the big differences in Bryson Tiller from the beginning of the year till now. Now he's getting down into the post, taking advantage of his athleticism, his size. He's got a jump hook, a turnaround jumper. He may have preferred the perimeter at the start of his KU career, but he is becoming more of a complete player now.
And I beg your pardon, the foul was on Saunders, not Keita, as Tiller steps to the line. The women's college game day crew will be at the Moody Center in Austin, Texas tomorrow, getting you set for a big day of women's basketball. It all starts at noon Eastern, leading up to 14th ranked Baylor taking on number 22 West Virginia, and then the Red River rivalry. Number 4 Texas, number 10 Oklahoma, all tomorrow on ESPN, ABC, and the ESPN app.
If Kansas has made their free throws, they'd be up 30 in this game. Well, they're shooting barely over 50% from the free throw line.
Yeah, they are 9 for 17 from the line, 9 for 12 from 3.
Maybe they'll back up and shoot their free throws from the 3-point line, like Wilt Chamberlain used to.
Badunga guarding DiBonsa, who kicks it over to Davis. Davis didn't play much in the first half because of foul trouble, and you talk about a second half guy. He made 5 threes in the second half of what was ultimately a loss Monday night against Arizona.
That was really good help defense by Bryson Tiller on that A.J. DiBonsa drive, and a one-way recovery to get out of it.
White turns it over. DiBonsa the drive. Keita the follow, and a late whistle and a foul call going against Kansas. And it'll be Tiller.
Yeah, Badunga was able to challenge that shot, but Keita gets to the offensive glass so effectively, and Bryson Tiller wound up being behind him. He's got his arms wrapped around him, and Keita was able to get to the glass before him.
Keita at the line. So we saw that drive there by DiBonsa. You've watched as many, if not more, BYU games than I have this year. What surprises me is how often have we seen him get to just inside the free throw line, right where the Big 12 logo is, and elevate over anybody and everybody to be able to get a shot off. He has not been able to get to that part of the court, and that's where he does so much of his best work.
Well, that's because Kansas's help side defense has been parked there. And what Kansas doesn't want to do in this game is be hugged up, and then you got to help and then recover, and then it's what you call a two-way recovery. Instead, they're parked in help side position, then they recover one way back to their assignment.
He has beaten teams with 2s more than he has beaten teams with 3s this year, as Badunga stays with it and puts in the second try.
Hey, Flory Badunga is having a fantastic season. The lefty, he's all left hand. He's not a back to the basket player, but his energy, and he's just so quick off the floor.
What a crossover and finish there by Wright.
Well, it's so hard to stay in front of him because he stays so low, and it's not just his quickness. He's way stronger than he looks.
Their big 3 has 30 of their 37 points. Wright, Saunders, and DiBonsa. But DiBonsa's only got 7 of them. Peterson. Rebound Saunders.
Thought Peterson was going to come off for a handoff there.
Council switches on to DiBanza, who lost it and has to give it up. Wright misses a three.
Kansas needs to get a ball reversal.
Council fouled as Keita reaches in.
When the Jayhawks play with pace, get it up quickly and start moving the ball. If you get it from side to side, all of a sudden BYU's chasing you, and that's where the openings come. Not on the first side of the floor, but the second and the third.
A team that has been playing much, much better of late. They have won 4 in a row. 3 of them were by at least 19 points. We were here about 2.5 weeks ago when they beat Iowa State by 21. They just went to Manhattan and beat Kansas State by 24 in their last game. And they're putting the same kind of numbers up here on BYU, which is ranked 13th in the nation.
Boy, alert play by Melvin Council Jr. And what a great shot fake by Bryson Tiller.
Saunders slams it in with the left. He is not just a catch and shoot guy, far from it.
Heck no. What a big time play with the left.
There are 32 NBA executives, whether it's GMs, presidents, scouts, from 17 different teams here at Allen Fieldhouse here today. And there are a number of guys in this game who are going to play at the next level. Wright steps in. DiBanza rises up for a three and hits it.
Most of DiBanza's threes on the season have been of the catch and shoot variety, and he was able to get that because of Robert Wright's penetration.
32% on the season from three. Tiller with a 10-footer from the baseline. White another assist.
And that short corner jumper is not an easy shot. Richie Saunders got late pressure on it. But what a fantastic shooting touch Bryson Tiller has. He is going to be a great player.
And Saunders with a chance for a 4-point play.
Trey White just caught a piece of his elbow. Just a tick, and it didn't bother Saunders. That's a big play by Richie Saunders.
The lead was once 21. This three has it down to 15 here in Lawrence. Basketball for freshmen right now. Jeremy Wu at ESPN.com has 8 of the first 10 picks in this summer's NBA draft being freshmen. Peterson and DiBanza could easily be 1-2. You got Boozer and Wilson, who we'll see next week in Chapel Hill. And then Kingston Flemings and Michael Brown and Darius Acuff Jr. And Nate Ahmed is playing great basketball right now. And that's why so many scouts, GMs, team presidents, etc. have flocked here to Lawrence, Kansas to watch this game here today.
And all of our freshmen, that little Brady Bunch logo. Keaton Wagler wasn't on the list at Illinois. And how great has he been? Had 46 points at Mackey on Saturday, where 3 freshmen went for 40 or more, including A.J. DiBanza, who had 43.
Kingston Flemings, the other, had 42 in a loss in Lubbock last week. Just week after week, these freshmen continue. Impress is not a good enough word for what they are doing. I mean, if you're putting together, say 3 All-America teams, top 15 players, there are going to be a lot of freshmen on those teams. They have been outstanding.
Yeah, we could have put Keaton Wagler in where Alice, the housekeeper, usually went, right in the middle of that little Brady Bunch thing.
McDowell, nice no-look pass, and Tiller knows what to do with it.
Little shot fake by McDowell. He drove the seam that brings the defense over, and then Tiller right in front of the rim.
Bill Self is not playing a lot of guys here today. McDowell and Jackson are the only 2 who have come in off the bench. Ahmed misses a wide open putback.
It's like he was too open. That little Peja action to get the 3 for Richie Saunders, who's had a terrific game. He's rebounded, he scored. and really kept BYU at least within striking distance if they can really pick it up.
Saunders 17 and 7. Came off the bench his freshman year. We mentioned the most improved player in the Big 12 a year ago, and he's even better as a senior as that three goes around and out.
But Bryson Tiller's made some really nice plays as a help defender. When DeBonsa was trying to get around Badunga, Tiller was right there to really help stop that drive and stop his momentum to the basket. Good cut.
Council no. And another rebound. Saunders has it knocked away, and it's back to Kansas.
Boy, give credit to Melvin Council Jr. He's got 6 assists in this game, and great hands to knock that ball away from Saunders when he pulled the ball down. Just alert defensively, and I don't know what Bill Self and the coaching staff has to do to wipe the smile off that young man's face, but he's just positive energy all the time for the Jayhawks.
Peterson is on the bench right now for Kansas. DeBonsa is on the bench right now for BYU. This is Jaden Dawson, his first appearance of the game, a senior from Omaha. Tiller again.
Boy, that's using your shot as a weapon. The shot fake. Ahmed went flying by, and Tiller is announcing himself that he is emerging as a future star for Kansas.
How about 19 points, 19 loud points for Tiller here in this game, 7 rebounds as well, and the Jayhawks just keep on clicking at the offensive end.
Bryson Tiller has been absolutely fantastic in this basketball game. You know, Tiller, a freshman from Atlanta, Georgia, hadn't hit a 3 since before Christmas, and he's come out and knocked down 3 of them. That set up those drives. He's got 19 points in this game, 7 rebounds, and his defense has been excellent, especially as a help defender. And you know, Dan, we were watching practice yesterday, and you and I were talking and watching Bryson Tiller. I was going, this guy's going to be a star. If he stays here at Kansas, he's got star written all over him, and he has proven it in this game.
Getting better and better by the game, by the week, more aggressive. DeBonsa back into the game for BYU. Peterson remains on the bench out of the timeout for Kansas.
And Kansas is switching ball screens. Seems like ball screens only.
Ahmed kept it alive, but here comes Council. He can fly. He can finish.
Well, you talk about rip and run. What speed by Melvin Council Jr.
How many guys in the country are faster end-to-end with the ball than Council, the St. Bonaventure transfer, whose numbers are pretty similar to what he put up last year with the Bonnies, and that's impressive, stepping up a level into the Big 12.
Just a jet in the open floor, a straight line drive. DeBonsa could not get back in order to turn his body, and Melvin Council Jr. took advantage of it. Those are some unbelievable jets.
DeBonsa hearing it from the Kansas student section, but he quiets them by knocking down the first free throw. He spends a lot of time at the line, draws about 7 fouls per game, shoots about 8.5 free throws per game. He has a game that you can say, hey, that's a pro game. The way he can draw fouls, get to the line, score in different areas.
Well, he's got an NBA mid-range game, and he gets to his spots. He still has to work on that three-point shot and extend that range. But you have to give credit to Kansas's defense. Their help side defense especially. He's seen a lot of bodies in this game, not many openings.
Council keeps the dribble alive, 7 to shoot. Tough one. Contested 3. And the rebound to Bošković.
One of the few challenged and maybe questionable shots taken by Kansas in this game.
DeBonsa will hit. And that's more like a move we have seen often this year from A.J. DeBonsa. He's got such long strides. He can just get by and get a pretty good look at the rim.
But look, he's going to score. But the one positive for Kansas is they didn't foul him and they didn't give up an open three on the possession.
He's now got 14. Counsell the kick. Tiller's been hot. BYU ball. DiBonsa driving again. Turnaround. And a foul to send him back to the line.
Boy, Tiller wanted to give good pressure on that shot. He might have just ticked his hand. He did a great job defensively, but that's just one thing. You know, put pressure on that fadeaway, but you can't foul there and bail him out.
DiBonsa starting to get into a rhythm, starting to feel it. He's got 14 here, but it is the Kansas Jayhawks here at the Phog who continue to lead. They're up 16 right now. Kevin, Coach, thank you very much. You're looking at Darren Peterson, who remains on the bench. He went out about 2.5 minutes ago of game time, but has remained on the bench through 2 timeouts. We don't know if there's anything going on, but I think it's natural that a lot of Kansas fans, Jay, might be thinking, is there something going on? Maybe he's got some cramping again. Again, we have no idea. He's been sensational today, the best version of himself, which is saying something. But we haven't seen him in several minutes now.
Boy, Richie Saunders able to get that offensive rebound off the missed free throw. He was on the opposite lane line and looked like he stumbled when he got out of the gate. But I don't think Trey White was really able to put a body on him, and he was just able to pick up that easy one.
Saunders at the line. Tonight on ABC, Ernie, Kenny, Charles, and Shaq get you set for the Mavs and the Rockets at 8 o'clock Eastern time. And after the game, they will be back to break it all down again like only they can. That is tonight on ABC and the ESPN app. Houston 4th place in the West right now. Dallas, how about the game that Cooper Flagg had a couple of nights ago? 49 points.
And Con Knippel wasn't bad in that game either. He had 34.
Charlotte won it. You know, Kevin Connors was giving you some out-of-town scores. How about a big win in the Big 12 today for UCF? The Knights knocking off Texas Tech down in Orlando, 88-80. That is a big-time win for that program.
Well, UCF, a very good offensive rebounding team. Themis Folks and Riley Kugel, their leading scorers. But they got like 5 guys that average double figures.
Counsell with a 3. That's the first for the Jayhawks in the second half after they knocked down 9 in the first half. Bidunga rejects DiBonsa, and Counsell again a blur to the other end.
Well, Kevin Young thought that was a foul, but how about Flory Bidunga and how quickly he gets off the floor, even backpedaling against DiBonsa.
One of the best shot blockers in the nation. Not many can block A.J. DiBonsa under any set of circumstances. Saunders, a lot of traffic. Will head back to the free throw line.
Boy, Richie Saunders is so poised. He just doesn't get rattled in among the trees under the basket. But here's the block with the left hand. And again, in transition in the open floor, the little Euro step. Now, was this a foul? There was absolutely a foul, and just not called. The arm is not a part of the ball.
The hand, yes. The arm, no.
Well, they always say the hand is, but that sounds so ridiculous to me. The hand's a part of the ball.
Saunders with his 20th point of the afternoon. He's got 9 rebounds as well.
Couple of steals too.
Yep.
He's been the real bright spot for this BYU team. And BYU's gotten 0 off the bench in this game.
Their big 3, DiBonsa, Saunders, Wright, have 47 of their 54 points. Make it 48 of 55.
Yeah, the 48 sounds great, but the 55 just ain't enough, especially in this building. give credit to the Kansas defense because it has been on point all game long.
Bryson Tiller, who's been great, just checked back into the game for Kansas. He's got 3 fouls. He's got another 2 points. Give him 21.
Boy, Bryson Tiller doing a great job of getting to the front of the rim when Badunga caught that ball. Great pass by the big man.
Saunders again. 24 now for Richie Saunders.
He needs 0 time when he catches it.
Yep.
I mean, talk about catching the ball. He doesn't catch it ready to shoot. He catches it to shoot it and makes the defense take it away from him.
Darren Peterson remains on the bench for Kansas. Jamari McDowell with a 3. His second of the afternoon.
Boy, BYU is just late on rotations. That could not have been easier for Kansas on the ball reversal.
Keita. Nice soft touch. Took advantage of the mismatch with the much smaller McDowell on him. Keita's a perfect complement to the high-powered threesome that they have offensively. He'll do all the dirty work. Wow! Flory Badunga showing you some things.
How about the crossover and the putting the ball out in front of him to get to the rim and then finishing through contact. Maybe not the way Bill Self would have drawn it up in the huddle, but a great left-handed finish by the lefty Flory Badunga.
Badunga averaging better than 14 points per game, 9 rebounds per game. We've told you about the shot blocking ability. Bošković picks up his 3rd. He goes to the bench. And Hadim Boot, the redshirt freshman from Senegal, returns for the Cougars.
And when Flory Badunga stays out of foul trouble, which was an issue earlier in the season, he is such a presence at both ends of the floor. He protects the rim on one end, and he pressures the rim on the other.
If Peterson is truly healthy with the way Tiller has come along and what Council does and what White does and what Badunga does, this team looks very, very dangerous. Saunders again. Got another one. 27.
He's going to play in the NBA.
Yep.
And his great-grandfather invented the tater tot. We owe the Saunders family a debt of gratitude.
We might owe them a debt of gratitude a couple hours from now at dinner. Because you know where we're going, and I know they have them there.
The tots are on you?
Yes. Poor Richie has to hear that every single game.
Oh, I'd be proud of that.
Tiller, talk about a quick release. Missed the 3.
You know what my great-grandfather invented? Bupkis. I would love a great-grandfather that invented the tater tot.
Tipped up, no good. And White, a strong rebound with Keita on his back.
If there is an unsung hero on this Kansas team, I think it's Trey White. Like, he's had a great year, and he's been as consistent as anybody on this roster with his performance at both ends of the floor.
A senior came over from Illinois, his 4th school in as many years. As you said, he's kind of second in everything on this team. Council, nope. Still better than 7 minutes to go. What a find. But Keita missed it from close range. Boy, that was a great feed from Wright.
And that's a deflating play. Now all of a sudden BYU's back and have to play 20 seconds or more of defense in the half court. They just haven't been able to put any game pressure on Kansas.
Council sizing up his defender. The 3 over Boop is short.
It's a poor offensive possession for Kansas.
And there haven't been many of those today. Davis, no. Still loose. And a timeout on the floor with 6:26 to go. Game number 1,000 in the history of this unbelievable facility. Allen Fieldhouse, the fog. And they are having the time of their lives. The Jayhawks up 15 on BYU. Well, with this being such a memorable event here in Lawrence, game number 1,000 here at Allen Fieldhouse, a number of very recognizable people. We start with 2 Chainz is here. Paul Pierce, has he been having the time of his life? We saw him at practice yesterday and again here today. He's the life of the party right now. Nick Collison, boy, did he have some big games in this building in his time at Lawrence. The Morris twins are here. Markeith and Marcus, both in the house. So many others. Thomas Robinson is here. Tyshawn Taylor is here. Again, the history of this program, the history of this building is something to behold. Richie Saunders is something to behold right now. Jay, he's got 30.
He has been the offense, especially in the second half for BYU. What a player he is. So much more than a shooter, but he can really shoot it too.
His career high is 31. He's got 21 here in the second half alone. And Darren Peterson still on the bench for Kansas as Badunga is called for a foul.
Anytime there's a ball reversal, you're going to see Badunga sealing his man in the post and up the lane. And he got Kennard Davis right on his hip, and they delivered the ball. And Darren Peterson, we haven't seen much of him in this second half. And not sure whether it's precautionary because he has had that ankle recently. Also, he's had cramping issues, a hamstring issue.
Without question, Bill Self will be asked about it after the game. No way for us to know, but he was dominant, absolutely dominant in the first half and has barely played here in the second half. Badunga makes both of them.
You know, Dan, we were mesmerized by Darren Peterson in the first half. Kansas shot 75% from 3. They were 9 of 12 in the first half. But I was more impressed with the Jayhawks defense. This has been an excellent defensive effort against a BYU team that can really score.
A BYU team that's really good. A top 15 team, 17-3 on the season. Just 1-3 against ranked opponents. So win back in the non-conference against Wisconsin as Wright knocks it down. Boy, Saunders and Wright are doing everything they can to give their team a chance to get back into this. DeBonsa louder here in the second half, but still 5 for 10, 15 points. That's a quiet game for H.J. DeBonsa.
And BYU's a couple of stops and a couple of scores away from putting some more pressure on Kansas. They haven't had any game pressure in this game, but they need to get a stop. There's one right there.
A travel on Trey White.
So the question is, can BYU string together a score here, another stop, and a score before they get to the 4-minute media timeout?
As you can see from the numbers, they have been a much better team in the second half. We saw it firsthand in New York when they roared back to beat Clemson. Wright hit the winner. They almost did it against Arizona, and a lot of that comeback, Jay, really came in the last 5-6 minutes of the game. Saunders is fouled by Council.
Saunders set a little cross screen, and then he was coming off a pin down. A screen for the screener action to get him coming toward the ball. And he lost his footing. I didn't think he got pushed at all. I just think he slipped.
It did not look like there was any contact.
I mean, there was a hand on him, but I'm not sure the hand on him pushed him. It might have looked like it fast action, but I didn't think it was.
A miss on the front end, and then an over-the-back foul on Keba Keita. His third.
Boy, that was a big miss. You know, you get this to 10, it starts to feel a little bit different.
A lot of ball pressure here from Wright. Council finds McDowell. The weave from the Jayhawks. Back to McDowell. White. A bounce pass that gets by Tiller and out of bounds. Another Kansas turnover.
Richie Saunders being guarded by Melvin Council Jr. He's got to face guard him. Don't help off.
Here's Saunders. Another one. His 6th three of the game, and now a career high 33 points.
Boy, that's a huge bucket to get it under 10 with just over 4 to go. Saunders set, they call that page action. Saunders set a little back screen and then comes off for the handoff for that 3. Big time play by Saunders.
And for the first time in a long time, it is down to single digits. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Phillips 66, proud sponsor of Big 12 basketball. Comes back to win this game. It's going to be because Richie Saunders, who's had a great career, Jay, might be having the best game of his career here today.
You got your hands down. He's so quick from the catch to the release. Seemingly unlimited range, moves without the ball, setting a back screen, coming off of that handoff and firing. 33 points. He's the leading rebounder in this game, Richie Saunders, with 9 rebounds. He's got 2 steals, and he's made 11 of 18 from the field, including 6 threes.
Never gets old here. Game number 1,000 here at the Phog. Kansas has led by as many as 21. It is down to 9 now with still better than 4 minutes to play and still no Darren Peterson. He has not played since early in the second half. Bedunga splits a double and draws a foul. Hadim Boop called for the foul. His second, and that will send Bedunga back to the line. He is just 4 for 9 from the line here today as Peterson continues to look on from the bench. This is a sight that Kansas fans have seen all too often this year. A lot more college basketball action coming your way today and tonight. The next game, this one will be interesting. It'll be fun. It'll be loud down in Fayetteville. Arkansas hosting Kentucky, Auburn, and Tennessee. That'll be a good game at 8:30 Eastern. Stephen Pearl's team has picked up a couple of big wins, and Rick Barnes' team bouncing back with a couple of road wins after losing to Kentucky. And then tonight, always fun out west when St. Mary's and Gonzaga get together. Inside 4 minutes to go. Dibonsa. The kick to right. Into the paint, up, no good. Bedunga soars for the rebound.
Boy, really good defense by Trey White to stay down against the difficult to guard Robert Wright on that penetration.
Tiller has had a big game, 21 and 7. He is the leading scorer for the Jayhawks. Council sizing things up with 6 to shoot. Cross court to McDowell. Rebound Boop.
But BYU has to have a bucket on this possession.
Saunders has been the guy, especially here in the second half. Dibonsa just not getting many touches. Right. Still got some time. Boop, a corner 3.
Boy, that was a huge bucket, all set up by Richie Saunders, and his penetration, trying to stop him. If Boop makes it, fine.
Jay, that is Hadim Boop's first made 3 of the season.
Well, it couldn't have come at a better time because BYU needed that. And now Kansas has some real pressure on him down the stretch. And remember that comeback that BYU made against Arizona with a chance to win it.
Shot clock inside 5. Council into traffic. And it belongs to the Cougars.
Just driving into traffic, Keita behind everybody. You got to adjust it. And so that Council didn't walk. He just had to let it go.
Keita will leave right now as Kevin Young is making a couple of substitutions. He's bringing in Beto Ahmed and also bringing in Alexei Kostic. And Kostic is in there to knock down threes. Over 90% of his field goal attempts on the season have been threes.
This helps them spread the court a little bit more. In a horn set.
Ibanza with Badunga on him. Finishes. Boy, a strong finish there because Badunga looked like he got a piece of it.
Boy, great hesitation. What strength to get that off the glass over Badunga.
And it's down to 6. They can still use some clock, and White does. Now finds Council, 10 to shoot. Tough shot off the back of the iron. Saunders the rebound.
That's his 10th.
A minute and a half to go. 2-possession game. And Wright is fouled.
We got mouth guards flying. A.J. Debonsa taking on Flory Badunga. And just that little hesitation move, the stop and go. And he takes such long strides. He's able to cover so much ground. You know, his 2 steps are somebody else's 3.
Another substitution for Kevin Young as he goes back to more of a defensive lineup. Kostic sits, Boop returns. Bill Self has not made any changes in a while. It has been these 5 guys for several minutes.
And BYU has really put this crowd on the edge of its seat and quieted it down a little bit.
Down to 4.
Well, the Cougars going to come with some full court pressure.
And there's some confusion about whether or not Keita can check back into the game. And Kevin Young, and I think he's right here, is saying, no, I didn't take him out. He was on the bench before. He can come back in now. But one of the officials is saying, no, you can't just take him out and bring him back in without any time coming off the
clock.
But
he didn't take him out during the free throws. He took him out before that. They'll figure it out. I hope they don't have to go to the replay.
So the issue is, when did Keita leave the game? And the officials have conferred, and it looks like quickly they've come to a resolution. And they're saying no timeout to get your guys back on the floor. And Keita is being allowed to re-enter the game. Why have things gotten so tough at the offensive end for Kansas?
Well, I think BYU's done a much better job of locking down defensively, but Kansas hasn't attacked in the same way that they did earlier in the game. It's a lot more dribbling, a lot less passing and cutting. And when you're not chasing, you can do a better job of guarding the ball and your help side's in position.
53 points in the first half for the Jayhawks, only 29 in the second. And Bill Self did not like the look of that possession one bit. 1:11 to go. We're back in 30.
We found a truck.
Exciting news to share with you. Thanks to all of you, our 2025 V-Week initiative helped raise more than $14.5 million for the V Foundation for Cancer Research. We cannot thank our fans, partners, and sponsors enough for making all of this possible. We want to share a special shout out with Principal and the Principal Foundation for their $1 million matching donation. Thank you for all of your support, and remember, don't give up. Don't ever give up.
And every penny of that $14.5 million goes directly to cancer research.
Dan Schulman, Jay Billis, 1:11 to go here in Lawrence. BYU has gotten back into this game.
All right, this is a huge stop for BYU if they can get it.
Shot clock running down. Off balance.
Oh!
Council!
Boy, not the prettiest after timeout play, but Melvin Council, that was a gigantic bucket to move this to a 6-point game.
He's got 15 now, 9 in the half. Melvin Council Jr. averaging almost 14 a game, better than 5 assists per game, and at times, Jay, playing with Darren Peterson, a lot of times playing without him, and having to take on a bigger role.
Well, not the prettiest set. Trying to get a little ball screen fade action, and he shot that one on the run, fading away. But Kansas really needed that bucket, and BYU really needed the stop and didn't get it.
So it's a 6-point game, 52.9 to go. But we check in quickly with Kevin Connors.
And Dan, a great environment in Fayetteville on the way. Kentucky, Arkansas, 3 straight wins for the Hogs. Just a game back of A&M atop the SEC. Kentucky's won 5 of 6. Kentucky, Arkansas after we go final in Lawrence.
Kevin, thank you. SEC is fascinating because every week it's like you pick a different team who you think is going to be the best team in the league. Is it Florida? Is it Arkansas? Is it Alabama? Is it Vandy? A&M atop the standings, as Kevin says. It's going to be a wild few weeks in the SEC.
There's not a lot of separation in the Southeastern Conference, and the analytics say it's the best league top to bottom. But I think the Big 12 at the top is the best league. The most Final Four and the most title contenders are in the Big 12.
6 teams in the top 14 in the AP poll, including both of these teams, BYU and Kansas.
Right now, the focus for the Kansas defense has to be Richie Saunders. If A.J. DeBonsa gets the ball, he's going to be made to take a tough 2. Saunders can knock down a big 3 on you.
Badunga on DeBonsa. Right now, Tiller on Saunders. Wide left on the 3, but DeBonsa runs it down. But we have a foul on the Cougars on Keba Keita. Or is it Rob Wright? It might have been on Rob Wright. It is on Wright. But either way, a big, big call because DeBonsa had run down that rebound.
Difficult shot by Richie Saunders from 3, and it was well defended by Bryson Tiller. You could see Wright getting boxed out by Jamari McDowell. Looked like he just grabbed him as that ball was loose, and DeBonsa was chasing it down. See, he's got him wrapped around by the arm. And that's where the call came from across the court.
McDowell at the line, 71% on the season. Peterson has not played since there was 16:46 left in this second half. That has meant more minutes for McDowell. It's been a short bench today for Bill Self. McDowell has played a lot and has played well.
No fouls, no threes for Kansas.
Bošković will force one up, air ball, but the putback by Keita. Tiller gets it across to White. Looked like Keita fouled him. They don't call it, and White will lob it up for Badunga. And Tiller swats it away at the other end.
That is how you salt away a game. Breaking pressure to score, and an exclamation point with the block shot by Bryson Tiller. Tiller has had a fantastic game.
McDowell down with it, ahead to White. The exclamation point on a victory here this afternoon for the Kansas Jayhawks. Game number 1,000 here at the Phog will end with a W for Kansas as they run their winning streak to 5. 878 wins in those 1,000 games here at Allen Fieldhouse. Darren Peterson, the star in the first half, barely played in the second, but Jay, a lot of his teammates really stepped up.
Well, Bryson Tiller was the star of the game. I agree with you. Peterson was the story in the first half, but the Kansas defense throughout the game was excellent. And Bryson Tiller, a big reason why, with his help side defense, his rebounding, and he knocked down open shots, played his best game in a Kansas uniform.
The player of the game today brought to you by Phillips 66. It is indeed Bryson Tiller. 21 points, 7 rebounds. The Jayhawks go to 6-2 in league play. The Cougars drop to 5-3. The final once again from Lawrence. Kansas 90 and BYU 82. More great basketball coming your way down to Fayetteville, Arkansas, and Kentucky.